Hello everybody, I'm United States Congressional candidate Kari Olavi Ilonummi. Welcome to my home and thank you so much for joining us today. Today, well, I'm doing something a little different. I'm not just as an investigative news journalist or political figure going to point the finger. Today, I'm going to point the finger at me. And what that means is this. Instead of just telling about what everybody else is doing in the world, I'm going to be the first one that comes to you and tells off on myself. That's right. Before the news, before anybody else can come up with this, before someday I pass away and no one ever knew it all, I'm going to be the one that confesses and tells you. Why? I believe in transparency. I believe in being fair and honest. I'm not perfect. I'm a good man, but I'm not perfect. Everybody has a history and flaws. Every candidate. You know no one's perfect, Mr. and Mrs. Washington State, Mr. and Mrs. America. But with that being stated, you deserve to know your candidate. You deserve to know who you are voting for in this year's election and for 2020 and the future. And that is the reason why I feel today obliged and obligated to stand here before you and just be real and honest and tell you my deepest, darkest secrets. So with that being stated, let's please jump into it. All right, probably the most controversial of all issues that will pop up in the news this year or regarding this campaign. As you know, I am running for U.S. House of Representatives and honored to do so in Eastern Washington in the 5th District. As some of you know or will know now, I don't live in the 5th District. I live in the 2nd District. I live over north of Everett while I'm running over in Walla Walla, Spokane, Eastern Washington. Now this is highly controversial. Some people would say, how can a candidate or an individual possibly from the other side of the state in a time when left and right, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat are at each other's throats like I have never heard or seen in the history of America, divided as ever, you may be wondering, what does a guy like me have to offer you? And what do I know? And how do I know more for Eastern Washington than some of what would be their representatives? And if you ask that question to yourself or think of it now that I presented it, it's a fair question. So let me just address that, please. Ultimately, your Congresswoman, Cathy McMorris Rodgers, the incumbent, you know her quite well, her face more than mine, for the last 14 years of elected office as your representative. Well, she's as local as it gets. You know her. She's been there forever. Guess what? Where is that getting you, Mr. and Mrs. Eastern Washington State? The answer is nowhere fast. 14 years ago, the economy was decent. Now, the economy is horrible. Spokane hasn't gained in population overall in Eastern Washington, hasn't increased in the quality of life and standards of living. The prices of food have doubled under what would be the last 14 years of this Congresswoman. Many of your children and you and family members and neighbors never even knew what heroin looked like or what it was until the last 14 years, and especially 4 to 5 years. Some of you have lost children, family members, and will lose more. Some of you may be driven to drugs yourself from despair, depression, and the circumstances. At some point in the road, whoever is elected into office, and especially after nearly a decade and a half now, somebody has to be held accountable. And that person is your Congress member. The price of food is doubled. Housing is going up. There is no hope in sight as this lady, Congresswoman, with all due respect, ma'am, and Mr. and Mrs. Eastern Washington, tells you that the economy is humming along. Shame on you, Madam Congresswoman. Shame on you. To pretend that you are really fighting for your constituents as such when you know that is a crock. Shame on you. The fruits are what tell. The worst thing that is on me is what? I live out of the district while I used to live near Tri-Cities for a few years, and I have plenty of friends over there and visit frequently and politically active. What's worse? A guy that lives over here but his heart is with you? Or a person that's with you physically but isn't with you here or here, but pretends they're with you? Pretends they're a conservative, pretends they're a Republican, a Christian, and this and that. Sorry, there's nothing Christian about people being starved so the top 0.1 percentile of Wall Street and corporations can go fat cat and be rich at the expense of the middle and lower class, Madam Congresswoman. So I ask you, the citizens of Washington State, to be the judge, please. Do you want the same old, same old? Because if you do, you like how things are going downward, spiral fast, just give it 2 more years. By 2020, you'll be begging for somebody else as a candidate, if not by this election. So, by the fruits you shall know them. This economy is in shambles. Mr. and Mrs. Washington State, including fellow conservatives, Republicans, you know better. You know better. That's a reason why things are going the way they're going. But I promise you this, I am preparing to move to Eastern Washington. As the citizens are supportive of me, help me to win this primary, is I will work diligently, not just through till what would be the primaries this year, midterm primaries for 2018, but through. Help me, Washington State, just give me one chance, please. Give me one chance to earn your trust and support. I will not be elected into office come November and still be living in Western Washington. I promise you that. I will be there with you when it comes time for me to swear upon the Bible of the United and whatnot in front of the Vice President and being sworn into office as your congressman. I promise you I will be living in your district before that happens. So just give me a chance. I will not let you down. Now, moving onward. I am legally physically disabled. I suffer from a disease called Charcot-Marie tooth disease. That's correct. Ultimately, and I'll be showing video footage of my feet at the end of what would be this video segment to give a little proof for those that would like to see results, not just also see doctor notes and prescription in which I can prove as well. I actually have a disease in which you can see. That's right. I'm so deformed and have so much what would be physiological problems with my legs, my feet, my whole body in general, with muscular dystrophy as a symptom, not the overall disease. I guess technically the word would be macular degeneration, if I were to be technically speaking there. So I'm able to provide that. I ultimately have just let you know, as I suffer from what would be extreme muscle spasms and whatnot, and all this, that I have a prescription from my physician for medical marijuana. That's right, medical cannabis in Washington State. Now, Washington State, it's perfectly legal for even recreational use. They have stores that sell marijuana legally. But let's get this straight. I'm not just utilizing marijuana in some kind of a recreational fashion. I'm approaching it from a medicinal standpoint. It helps me with my muscle spasms. It helps me with my migraines. It helps me with issues that, underlying issues and the symptoms of what would be this disease, Charcot-Marie tooth disease. But I want it and whatnot. But I feel you deserve to know that I have a prescription for medical marijuana. So, and you deserve to know that. I don't smoke it every day. I haven't smoked it today, so on and so forth. But the point is, I've used it for that source, for medicine, and I have a prescription, which I will be providing copies of on the website, nospennewssource.com, and proving. That's right. I'm not just going to tell you something, I'm going to prove it to you. Anything I say with these lips, well, I understand why you don't believe politicians anymore. After so-called change you can believe in, and Obama, well, you don't know who to trust anymore. That didn't pan out, did it? No, it didn't. And I'm not trying to stick it to liberals or Democrats. I'm just making a point here. The past administration did not pan out. So, let's make this administration and president do his damn job. Let's make sure it doesn't be another Bush Jr. or Obama failure. Let's make sure this man does his job. And as a Congress member, I assure you, as a Republican, I assure you, if this president launches an illegal war, if this president goes against you, the citizens of the United States of America, I promise you, that's right, I don't make promises, I make guarantees, but I promise you, Mr. and Mrs. Washington State, I will do everything in my power to make sure this president is held accountable 100%. I have already called him out on things, and I will continue to call him out on things. So please, don't think I'm loyal to the party, loyal to the president, loyal to that. I'm loyal to you. My job is to you, to the Constitution, to the people. I don't owe him anything. other than to try to work with whoever is in office, including fellow Congress members and this and that and local, regional government, in a way to be effective for you, the people. But I don't owe them nothing other than that. I owe you, the people, everything. I work for you. I represent you. I'm trying to better myself, confess my sins, embarrass myself today if that's what it has to do in order to earn your trust and respect. If some of this is too much, if you can't have a guy like me that's living over here or with a prescription for marijuana, well, you deserve to know that and deserve to be able to make that decision with this year's election. But at least you won't be voting for a phony. At least you will know who the candidates are, as I expose them and expose myself and say, here, like an open book, right here, I'm all yours. It's up to you. Now, everything I'm saying right here, I have a few talking points. What I've been saying for the last several minutes, it's no pre-written speech. It's not something I memorized. I'm speaking from my heart. And those of you that can look into a person's eyes, feel someone out and know if they're BSing you or telling the truth, look into my eyes. Tell me and judge me for yourself. Beyond my big words, beyond my proof, beyond my prescriptions, beyond everything I'm getting ready to label next, set that aside. Judge me and tell me if I'm lying to you or trying to deceive you or pull one on you or manipulate you. I'm not. I'm not trying to tell you what you want to hear. I'm trying to tell you what you need to hear, what you deserve to hear, and I'm trying to be a good, honest, loyal, faithful man to you, the people, the citizens of Washington State. So please, just give me a little credit for that alone. I beg you. Please. We're moving onward now. So ultimately, as we've discussed, what would be recreational and medical marijuana are lawful in the state of Washington. According to federal law, though, they don't recognize medical marijuana yet, obviously. And recreational, well, I'm not trying to do it for that. So, with that being stated, upon being elected to the U.S. House of Representatives as your Congress member, I am more than willing to set aside the cannabis medical marijuana usage. That is correct. Why? Well, I have to be as clear-minded and focused as I absolutely possibly can be for you, the people. That's why. So if I have to suffer more, well, so be it. I'll suffer for you. You people have suffered. I'm no better than you. If I'm your representative, I guess I got to go through some of this too, and it's only fair. And I have over the years. Don't let the fancy clothes and the tuxedo fool you. I'm far from rich, ultimately. I'm just a basic guy, low class when it comes to financially, income class. I'm high class when it comes to who I am here in standards and respectable, but when it comes to the financial zone, it's definitely below medium income brackets and middle class. I have to confess, as I receive Social Security benefits for my NSSI, I'm legally disabled and suffer with this disease, Charcot-Marie tooth disease, as I've mentioned. But that doesn't mean I'm not working, as you can tell. I'm working diligently and hard. I have what would be national and internationally accredited news credentials, the website nospennewssource.com, video show and things, as I've ran for office many times and been involved in politics since 18, literally. So I've been working the whole time. I've just had to work as such. So with that being stated, I am willing to, as I said, set aside my prescription usage of what would be medical marijuana, and I will use those circumstances and channel what would be that pain to focus even 10 times harder on the people's circumstances, if that's what I have to do, and I'm willing to do it. So now let's also continue from there. Okay, let's talk criminal history. I'm not a bad guy, but when I was 19, I might have been 20, but I believe 19. I went grocery shopping in Sunnyside, Washington. I mentioned I used to live over in Eastern Washington. I was with two friends. One was named Jason and Jason Seymour, and the other one's name was Eric, and of course I can't remember his last name, but nonetheless, one day we went grocery shopping. I wanted to go get some grenadine and those cherries so I can make some what would be Shirley Temples. I still drank a little bit of soda back in my late teens and early 20s here or there. Not much, but here or there. So now I'm just a health nut. But anyway, that's another story. So with that being stated, we went to the store. I went to go look for what would be the grenadine. I didn't see any grenadine, so I told my friends, which were behind me, whatever. I was kind of leading the charge in to go look at this and that, whatever. So I didn't find it. It was time to leave. We're walking out the store. I believe I was first out the store. I think they were behind me. And ultimately, a couple store clerks came yelling from behind as we were maybe 20 feet outside the front door of the store, the opening doors, and they said, hey, you guys need to come back in the store. And I stopped and I said, why? And they said, we believe you stole something. Well, I'm not a thief and I didn't steal anything, so I had nothing to hide. And I didn't know either one of my friends did either. So long story short, I yelled to my friends, which continued to walk past me as if they didn't know me, and they kept walking anyways, and I didn't know why at first, but I yelled to them, actually saying their names. Hey, we got to come back in the store. Let's go handle this. Let's go take care of this. I'm a type guy, if I don't have nothing to, if I'm not, guilty or whatever, I'm going to just tell you, So, I mean, I have nothing to hide. That's what I'm trying to say. So I convinced my friends to go back in. Well, they had a police officer come and pat us down. I didn't steal nothing, and I didn't know one of my other friends did either, but the guy, Eric, happened to steal something, and I, honest to God, did not know this until the police officer pulled out of his pocket. He stole a king-size Carmelo candy bar. That's right. That's right. I believe I was 19 at the time, end of 19 years old. I don't think I was even 20 yet. I was still a teen, but I didn't steal that, and I was not playing some kind of a cover or something if anybody thinks that could have been it. Trust me. I ended up going to jail for that idiot's candy bar. In the long run, let me tell you. So, yeah. I'm upset and perturbed about that still today. And later on, when I have the legal means and the finances, I'm going to get that cleared off my record because I don't deserve it. And I'm going to make sure he confesses on video that he did this, because Eric did do this. Ask Jason Seymour. I'm not sure he was aware he stole it either, but I don't know. I never asked him, but all I know is this. I was very upset about this. Anyway, so I'm not a thief. I'm not a candy bar bandit, but I'm just letting you know, before the candy bar comes out, I'm going to be the one that tells you about Carmelo candy bar. And it wasn't in my pocket. It was Eric's, and I had no idea, honest to God, once again. Now from there, as I'm confessing and this and that, let's go to the last but not least. Back in 2015, just prior to me running for Congress the first time. That's right. This is my 5th time running for office, 2nd for Congress. This isn't my first time, my first rodeo here. But what I'm saying is the first time I was about to run for Congress, I had told everybody about it 2 years prior. Everybody knew. Even probably further than that, really, probably 4 years prior. Everybody knew, 2016, I'm running for Congress. Anyway, by late 2015, my opponents and people that over the years that didn't like some of my politics couldn't found some of it too much and decided to come after me with a fake news scandal. That's right. Some people came up with something called Blaze the Dog. That's right, Blaze the Dog. They said that I had a dog, which we do have a dog, by the way. I do want to say the dog is real, but what was said about the dog is fabricated. That Blaze the Dog, a husky black lab mix, they stated was skin and bone, never had human interaction, always outside 24 hours a day, and all kinds of things that made me sound really horrible as a person over here in an area with so much PETA and organizations that support what would be animal rights. Well, I would have to be pretty stupid as a candidate, living off of a busy road and highway where people drive by my house every day and can see and take pictures of what's going on. I would be dumb, no, even dumber, to have any kind of a dog or abused entity outside of my home where you, the people, could see it. I wouldn't be that dumb even if I did abuse a dog. But I don't abuse dogs. Now, ultimately what happened? The Blaze the Dog fake news scandal, which went worldwide with literally nearly 16,000 people signing a change.org from petition from around the world, news stories coming up, not just Seattle prime time, Q13 Fox News, but even worldwide in the UK. That's right, publications and news articles were coming out on me saying how bad of a man I was. A dog that has never had human interaction. I don't know how the thing ate or did anything over the years, or how it got onto the chain or off if it never had any interaction, but hey, you don't supposed to put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4 or ask those kind of questions. You're just supposed to go with the feeling of what you believe. especially when you hate somebody like me, if that's the case. Well, this whole thing of Blaze the dog came to backfire in their faces. The police spent much money investigating me. They had cops outside the home even to this and that. They checked the dog. It's something that went on for months and months. But in the process of having the dog, which I volunteered, I didn't make anybody wait. I volunteered to bring the dog in immediately to have checked by a physician, by a known dog doctor, even the one that they're petitioning against me. I knew, okay, I have nothing to hide. So the quicker I can get to this doctor, the veterinarian, the quicker the results and the facts are going to speak for themselves, and the truth is going to come to benefit me and hurt them. So that's exactly what happened. So I'm expecting, as I've already told off my deepest, darkest secrets right here today. My opponents and everybody's going to be real disappointed in me. Some of the newspapers in Eastern Washington are going to be very disappointed in me. Some of you wonder why I haven't been picking up your calls. I wanted to make sure I told off on myself and got the narrative going before you did. You can relate to that being in news. Don't worry, I'll start doing your interviews here starting in another 10 days or so. That's right, once the website is fully updated with everything, then I'll be ready for you people, the news that are coming to attack me. So that's the reason why I've been avoiding them. It's not that I'm hiding something, it's just I want to be the one that tells you, not have them and make it look like I'm deceiving you or playing a game or lying to you. They tell you before I do, it's going to make me look bad. If I tell you, well, it made me look silly here and there in the short run, but at least I'm being honest. You can't slap me back in the future and say, hey, how come you didn't say that? Or we know something about you, Kari. I'll be like, yeah, I told you that already. Old news. Now, don't believe anything I say. That's right, I'm a candidate for Congress, and I'm even telling you, don't believe me, but don't dismiss me either. Look into everything I just said and what I will say, and then you be the judge, Mr. and Mrs. Washington State. Now, I'm going to provide you with the names, actual phone numbers, police officers, including the chief, dog catcher herself, which never took the dog away, but still, she wanted to. Dr. Kavanaugh, which is the veterinary service and doctor from All Creatures Vet, and everything right here, so you could look into this, please. What would be Officer Val Copeland, I refer to as the dog catcher, along with what would be Chief of the Police, Jonathan Ventura of Arlington, Washington. And you can reach them at 110 East 3rd Avenue, Arlington, Washington, 98223. And their phone number to Arlington Police for what would be Officer Val Copeland and Chief Jonathan Ventura is 360-403-3400. That's right, 360-403-3400. Now, when it comes to the doctor that has did all of what would be the examinations of this pet, within literally a couple, I believe it was within 3 weeks of this becoming a huge scandal, his name is Dr. Kavanaugh. He's the only doctor that's ever seen Blaze, and he continues to see him regularly as it is, and he can tell you anything and everything. And this is a doctor that is not on my side. I didn't pay him off. He was actually working against me, but through time, the facts spoke for themselves, and well, now, directly or indirectly, now these people are working with me instead of against me, and I'm using them as my tools and witnesses because, well, fair is fair, and the truth is the truth. If you want to call me something I did, I'll confess and take the blame for it, but don't you dare call me something and accuse me of hurting a sweet, precious, innocent animal that I have loved dearly for the last nearly decade, as he is turning 10 years old in September. That's right. And I'm going to provide a little piece of video footage of that dog in just a moment, and then you can tell me if that looks like a dog that's happy, well-loved, or never had human interaction in his life or not, once again. So, please call Dr. Kavanaugh for yourself. Ask for what would be medical records from him. I give full permission. You have my permission, Dr. Kavanaugh, and All Creatures Veterinarian Service, please. Don't make me look good. Tell the truth. Everything. Tell the truth. That's all I'm asking. Along with Mayor Barbara Tolbert. That's right, Mayor Barbara Tolbert of Arlington, Washington herself. You can reach her at 360-403-3421. That's right. Call the Mayor Tolbert herself, good old Barbara, at 360-403-3421. And if you need to put in records information request or would just like to visit City Hall for yourself and talk to these people, feel free to stop on in and see them. Go ahead. Tell them Kari sent you. And the address to City Hall is 238 North Olympic Avenue. Once again, Arlington, Washington, 98223, where I reside. Now, Dr. Tim Cavanaugh of All Creatures Veterinarian Service, which I just mentioned a moment ago, his address is 720 West Avenue. That's 720 West Avenue, Arlington, Washington, 98223, with the phone number 360-435-8929. And once again, don't trust me, don't believe me, look into the medical history, the facts, ask anybody, including local businesses of Arlington, Washington, and allow them to be the witnesses. They've seen me do the work over the years. They've seen me warn people about the economy, and here we are today. I'm not a fool. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a liar, a hustler, a cheat, or a thief, or a dog beater. What I am is a candidate running for U.S. House of Representatives, and I am genuinely, diligently asking you, please, Mr. and Mrs. Washington State, give me one chance, just one, to earn your vote, and I promise you, I will not let you down. Thank you. God bless the state of Washington, God bless America, and God bless each and every one of you and your families, because I can assure you, I know how hard these times are. I'm struggling with the rest of you, and I know and feel your pain and can see the misery and the suffering everywhere I go. Times are hard. These are hard times. I know your families are suffering. Many of you are struggling just to keep your marriages and households afloat and together because of the stress, because of the tensions. I'm asking you to try to keep this together. Look beyond party. Look beyond the differences, folks. Our differences aren't getting us anywhere. We have to find some common grounds, and we have to find them now. The prices of food, housing are doubling. People now are dying from heroin usage and overdose more than they are from auto accidents or suicide. And suicide is going up, by the way, too, because of the despair. People are checking out. They can't handle reality. Survival is becoming too much. Reality is becoming too much. The average person, it don't matter if you're liberal, left, Democrat, conservative, right, Republican, or somebody that's more of a moderate guy like me, is running as a Republican. I ran as a libertarian before, third-party candidate, but hey, it's a two-party system if I like it or not. So if I want to be effective and if I want to get elected for you, the people, I have to run as one party or the other. I just felt under the circumstances, this is where I had to go. Republican. So this is where I'm at. Once again, I thank you for listening to this. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your support. I thank you for giving me the opportunity, Mr. and Mrs. Washington State. And once again, I will not let you down. You can continue to receive information. My website will be updated. There's going to be a huge overhaul over the days ahead, literally, in which I will be posting a major 50-year game plan, economic game plan for America that's going to affect Washington State all over, east and west, along with the nation. It's going to be good for you and your children. It's going to be good for everybody with family livable paying wages, infrastructure development, and I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm telling you the truth. I have the answers to the solutions. Thank you once again. I'm Kari Ilonummi, running for U.S. House of Representatives, and I sure hope that you will give me a chance this year. Thank you so much. Everybody, meet Blaze the dog. This is him. This is fresh. This is real. This is live. This is raw. Raw footage. That's right. They say he's never had human interaction, but he sure seems to know what it's like to get his belly rubbed, and he sure seems to like it. This isn't an abused dog. This is a happy dog, as you can tell. That's right. Getting lots of love like he always does. And today is, well, June 7th, 2018. You get to see it for yourself. That's right. And a dog that's never had human interaction in its entire life wouldn't be trained. And I live next to a highway. Stay, buddy, stay. Sit. Show people you can sit. Oh, look at that. See? Look at that. He could be running for the highway right now. He's not. He's a dog that's been trained, as you can see. No hands, Even the leash isn't right there, see? There we go. Taking a chance just to prove to you the people, for a second. He may get away from me here and prove me wrong. But anyway, just being silly. You can tell it's a happy dog though. Before he sees a neighbor's cat, I better cut off the video. Thank you so much. That's why I have a prescription for medical marijuana.